I've started.
Yay. The board is recording.
Excellent.
I hope. I hope I didn't just fuck up the old one, too.
No, I'm sure you didn't.
Recording in progress.
Thanks, lady. Thanks, Zoom lady.
Thanks, Zoom lady.
Thank you. Our recording is in progress. Welcome back to the Fic List, everybody.
Woo!
I've eaten most of a bowl of cereal.
And I had some seaweed snacks.
Woo! Very different choices.
Yeah, it was. I had cereal this morning, so I was like,
okay.
I've just had cereal.
I had a protein bar, and then in lieu, so we are recording this on the weekend of the big ice storm on the East Coast, and it kicked in this morning. But 2 days ago, yesterday, I was like, I could go to the grocery store with everybody else and their mother, or I could order enough pizza to last me the weekend.
Oh my God, Erin.
So I ordered pizza and have been
You're a
eating pizza
genius.
for like 2 days.
Amazing.
Hey, it's a full meal.
Yeah. It has
It's
everything.
fine.
It's got sauce, it's got toppings, it's got bread. What more do you need?
I mean, it is cheese pizza, but that's fine. Doesn't have as much protein as maybe it could have had, but
Erin, I'm trying to help you.
you're like, don't make it worse for yourself. What is wrong with you?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No.
It sounds delicious.
Hey, it's been good. I mean, I am running low on lactate, which is a problem, but
Ooh.
that'll be fine. That's a solvable problem.
Yeah, I mean, at least if you had to run out of lactate anywhere, the confines of your own home is probably the best place.
Yeah, that's the one. And I have like stashes of lactate that I know
Yeah.
about. I don't like to break into. Hi, welcome back to the Fic List. I don't like to break into my stashes of like backup lactate, but like that's what it's for.
Exactly, it's what it's there for.
Some people have emergency savings. I have emergency lactate.
Priorities.
I mean, it's true. Because if I don't have my lactate, oh boy.
Yeah, you'll be in pain, I think.
I'll be on the ground. It'll be really bad. I had a thing where I ate some dairy recently and I just like wasn't paying attention and I didn't have lactate. I forgot how painful it is.
Oh no,
Because I've been
ouchies.
really good about it for a really long time. And then
Yeah.
I got by something.
Yeah.
Thankfully, if I take lactate later, it does help still.
Alleviate some of that.
Yeah. So it started to hurt and I was just like, ooh, I don't know what had secret butter in it, but
That's a shame.
yep. So
Welcome to this yap session.
welcome to the yap session. So
Also, sorry, can I go first really quick?
Of
'Cause
course.
Technically, I forgot to say this in the last episode, so just tack it on.
Great.
It's just one final thing I forgot to mention in the whole Dan and Phil connected to Heated Rivalry kind of fiasco.
Yes.
Is it's so funny because Dan and Phil have a reaction video to watching the first 2 episodes of Heated Rivalry up, and
Yes.
it is the fucking inception that happened, and the top comment had me howling. It said, "This is like God reacts to the Bible." And I was like, it is. It's 120% is.
Exceptional. Incredible.
Yeah.
Like
Thank
what
you.
a gift. What
I
a
needed
gift
to
this
share
is.
that with all of you.
Thank you. That was worth making a second episode for.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. While we're here, can I tell you the drama about the Heated Rivalry, the podcast
Yes,
sphere?
please.
Okay. So this is sort of like exterior to the show, meta stuff. There is this hockey podcast called the Empty Netters podcast. They're one of many, but they were doing a reaction. They did a reaction series to the show.
Nice.
And it's a couple of like, it's in this series, at least, it was like these 3 straight boys. Like they're probably a little bit older than we are. They are former hockey players. They had like made it most of the way, like almost to pro, but didn't actually play
Sure.
pro, which I have heard from people in the know that that's a very common thing with these like hockey podcasts. I don't listen to them. I think just for a little bit of context for listeners, because I don't think this has ever come up. I do come from a hockey family, like of the sports. It was the Bruins. Always. So,
Fascinating.
yeah,
I didn't know this about you.
yeah, and it doesn't come up very often because I am not a hockey person. Like,
No.
I don't do shit about sports. I don't know. But like my dad, my brother, they're all like very into hockey. My uncles all played hockey. So like I'm Boston hockey family.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and like so I do know what hockey culture is like. Like,
for sure.
I've posted some stuff on TikTok and people are like, well, yeah, but hockey is so conservative. I was like, you think I don't know that? I'm aware that like this heated rivalry lives in a different world. Like I'm very clear that the NHL is not the good guys here. I'm good. I know.
What?
But these were like a couple of straight guys who were like, they had this, like, they came into it. I guess they had been like told about this show and they were like, all right, we're going to watch this show. And they started off the very first episode. They're like, well, this show isn't really about hockey. Like, there's not a whole lot going on that's like accurate to hockey.
Yeah.
And so they're a little skeptical at first, but they were like, well, the butts are nice. Like, I can admire a butt. Like, that's cool.
There we go.
And then by episode 6, they are like, he didn't even kiss him, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, I can't believe that this is happening. Like we get to the cottage and like the dad shows up and they were like,
oh
I was told this wasn't this kind of show. I'm so emotionally invested. There's only 15 minutes left. He can't be outed. Like, this is terrible.
Oh my God.
And they're like freaking out and they're like they got so invested in it. And like,
nice.
It was very, very funny. Like, I watched the whole thing in like a day and got excited. And I think a lot of people got really excited because like that's the goal of the show, right? Is to be like, oh, we're bringing other people into the fold. Unfortunately.
Oh no.
We get yanked right back down into reality. This Outsports, which is an LGBTQ sports network, sports thing, posted a very thin, I will say, thin article that said basically in leaked texts, Empty Netters podcast bro, like hosts, privately bashed the show and where it had like said shit about it. And so like I read the article and I was like, okay, the evidence for this is basically I said so. So I was like,
okay.
But I do believe it. I was like, I'm hesitant because anytime a straight white man enters a space, I'm like, you're on thin ice. Obviously.
Valid. Pun intended.
But it was like so fun. And like it happened literally like the day after I had watched the series. And the series had been out for several weeks at that point. Like it was whatever. They'd had like actors from the show on to like do stuff. Not the mains. Like the guy who played Kip and the actress who played Svetlana.
Oh, wow.
Had both been on their show. And so they had been like, they were like rising stars. They were like, it picked up a lot of traction for them. So they made a video very quickly being like, hey, I will show you the texts. And they did. And okay, so Dan, who was the one whose texts were leaked, basically was like, so I was having this conversation with another hockey podcaster who will not be named, who I thought was a friend. So I was having a private conversation with this person. And this was before I ever watched the show. I had only heard that it was, this hockey smut, whatever. And what he basically said was like, these losers and cowards making more smut just to pander to the like blue-haired Twitter masses, whatever.
Oof.
And that is a gross misrepresentation of like, that is like not exactly what he said. I need you to know that was like very much an amalgamation of several texts, but that's the tone. Sure. That's the tone.
Got it.
That's an accurate representation of kind of the tone.
Ooh.
And he did use specifically the phrase blue-haired Twitter, which is such a red flag.
Yeah.
Such a red flag. And I think it was actually that comment specifically was in relation to like something that the other podcaster had said was like, oh, you must be driving blue hair Twitter crazy or something. And it was very much framed like, oh, this show is just pandering like shit and like whatever. And he was like, I need you, like, it was before I ever watched it. And like, obviously when we started watching it, we got really into it and like that was genuine and like all these things. And I want to offer grace to a degree to be like, yeah, like part of what's happening, which is cool with the show, is that you're bridging some gaps between queer folk and sports folk in a way that is potentially really cool. However, I was like, oh, and there was actually another person on TikTok. I reposted their take because it was really exceptionally well done, where it was like the fact that you used those specific phrases indicates to me that you are in spaces where those phrases are considered okay. And tells me actually that you are not a safe person to be around. And regardless of the fact that you got into the show, you have some unpacking and like learning to do. Right. And it's probably time for you to step back and not. And they were like selling some merch affiliated with it and like all this kind of stuff. And like the argument was like, oh, they didn't, they're selling this merch, they're making money off. He was like, we're donating the proceeds to like Out NHL. Like, it's a whole thing. And I was like, but you didn't say that. And like,
Right.
and like he was able to prove, he was like, no, we had always planned to do that.
That was always the plan.
We just didn't like, and the dates line up. So like, I do believe that that was the intent, and they were like, we didn't want to make it a big thing. Like we didn't want to, we wanted to do a kind thing without seeking credit for it. And I was like, I think that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I actually think you really should have said that up front. That was definitely a misstep on your parts, but it just kind of sucks. 'Cause like, it was just this really funny, silly thing. And like, I know everybody knows that like the sports world can be very conservative, can be very like hostile, actively hostile.
Exactly.
And so there was this little like shining moment of light for like 6 minutes that we were like, we've gotten through to the straight boys. And then it's like, no, we didn't. No, we did not. And I have since actually learned about their other, like their hockey stuff, where they have spoken that I was like, oh yeah, I have no interest in this anymore. Is like,
okay, that was gonna be my next question.
They've supported a hockey player who was accused of, and I think maybe was actually convicted of sexual assault. And then went back to the league, and they were like, yeah, everyone's getting like butthurt about this like situation, but he's an excellent player, so. And I was like, oh yeah, no, you're dead to me.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And I was like, bummer.
That is so okay. So some context here to listeners is like the last I heard of this is Erin had reached out to me to ask like we should try to get them as guests, or we should like do some cross thing. And I was like, okay, sure. I'm not familiar at all.
Let's bear in mind that was fucking Thursday.
Yeah, it was so recently ago, and I was like, okay, cool. And then so I came here to be like, okay, and like we hadn't talked about it yet. I was like, okay, I imagine we'll talk about it afterwards logistically, but. Yeah. Good to know.
No. Yeah, and that's why I posted on TikTok, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta like find their content. I was like a little shooting my shot, and then all of that broke down, and I immediately like privated the video. I was like, never mind.
Just get it.
And I haven't posted anything further on TikTok because I was like, I don't really want, like, there's bigger fish to fry in the world. But it was really sad. And like, yeah, some of the comments there were like, well, why are you surprised? And I was like, I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed, you know?
Right. Like
sucks.
You're allowed to hope for a better world, for a world in which people can like learn and like actively want to engage in a way that is safe and like respectful of everyone. Like it isn't there isn't anything wrong by hoping for the best and then like being disappointed when it's not what happened.
Yeah, and I will say too, like some of the ways that they were talking about specifically Svetlana in the show, I was like, I know how you talk about women. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, I can hear the way that you talk about this character in a way that's like not respectful. Like, and it's jokey, haha, but it's not fake. It's not false. Like you do kind of mean it.
Those are your views.
Yeah, and like, I was just like, and. Like again, I would like to be a person who offers grace and opportunity for people to grow. And I was like, if these folks are willing to like learn and open up and like be educated about queerness and queer experiences, then maybe they would be willing to grow and open up and learn about the ways in which they're perpetuating misogyny. Like, I would hope that maybe people would be like open to having their minds changed. Not that we have, like, I'm not the one to do it. Like, you need to go talk to a woman in your life. And like a queer person in your life. But like, you want to offer people grace. But then I was like, this is like a pattern of behavior actually. And if you are sincere about wanting to like learn more about queerness or be like, you know, be more involved in the queer community, then I agree with the take on TikTok that I reposted where it's like you have to go do that on your own and come back. Like,
yeah, exactly. You've got work still left to do.
You've got a lot of work to do, which is a bummer. But yeah, so that all happened in the span of like 24 hours.
That's insane. Wow.
The sort of end cap of that drama, and it hasn't been confirmed, but it's so crazy, is that there is another Hockey Bro podcast that had been doing reviews before, and it was sort of implied that it was this other podcast that leaked the texts.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the drama.
The drama of it all, the shade of it all. I have no idea if that's true. No clue. It is whatever. But like there is that sort of thing. And then it turns out that the author of the article is like very much like a conservative gay man. And I was like, this is messy.
Yeah.
This is messy. I don't want to be involved in this. Thank God I did not find an email as quickly as I had hoped to find an email.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, so that was sort of wild. We're not gonna no. No.
No.
It was like hard pass. I don't need to talk to these guys. But it was a journey that we went on.
That was a journey. Wow.
Yep. Yeah. So that's been fun.
I want updates, so as soon as there is one, please tell it to me because I'm so curious.
I think that drama might be sort of put to bed at this point, but
that's fair enough.
The Empty Netters guys had said that Hudson Williams and Connor Story were like in talks to like come on their show, and I think they backed out, which makes sense.
Good.
I was like, yeah, they should. It was really like I do wish it was sort of mea culpa. Like I should have looked into their other stuff before I said anything. It's like the meme where it's like, I was just so excited about gay hockey show that I temporarily forgot that homophobia was a thing, and like that misogyny was a thing, and like all these things.
Well, to your credit too, is like I think about Lowe's, like that corner of the internet of when people do reaction videos, and it's like it's interesting how big a culture there is around that. And I thought about this because I fell down, like I did a lot of Bridgerton. I did whenever I was hyper fixating on Everything Everywhere All at Once. I watched a ton of those.
Yep.
And it's like, why do I watch these? And I was like, why am I spending hours of my time just watching people watch something that I like? And it's like, because you love it when people love the things you do. And like, especially with a show that is so new as Heated Rivalry, is like maybe there's not a lot of avenues for you to be able to like gush and express that with people. So I totally get like getting swept off.
Well, and it's fun and funny to see these like dude bros being like, his thumb is in his mouth, bro. His thumb is in his mouth. Look at him too. Oh my God, is that a nipple kiss? Like, it's very funny. And I know they're hamming it up. Like, I'm not.
Of course
they are. Like, I'm not sitting there being like, these guys are like happy or whatever. But they were also like, man, like this opens up our eyes to like the possibility of like doing other things and like watching other stuff, and like maybe we'll read the books together. Like that could be cool. And like they did seem sincere enough. Yeah. About being interested in continuing the conversations and like having a good time. That like, again, you want to hold space
for that, for sure.
And like have a little bit of grace for it. But I was like, those are not worldviews that get resolved because of one gay show.
No.
You know,
no.
And the misogyny never went unchecked. So I was like, okay, like I think also perhaps I'm so used to setting aside misogyny in those spaces because it's like it's just foundational to how a lot of these spaces are. Probably a big chunk of why me and a lot of other women don't feel welcome in spaces like that. Actually, Marissa Tandon, friend Marissa, talks a lot about why like women are the backbone of sports fandom right now, and like but are constantly shit on for it. And it's like it's absolutely insane that these sports franchises like will not embrace women fans. And also, it's like reminded me that I need to go check out the PWHL, which is the Professional Women's Hockey League.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And they just came to DC and they did a takeover night at Caps Arena. 17,000 people went. 17,000 people. It was the biggest crowd that the PWHL has ever had was in DC.
That's amazing.
We need a fucking team.
Yes, give us a
team. Like, oh my God, I would love to go. And it was all lesbians, and all the signs were like, we're going to the cottage.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this is the space that I want to actually put my energy into.
Exactly.
Got it.
There we go.
Great. I've been reeled back in. I've been reminded where I should put my energy, which was sort of funny.
That's great.
But yeah, that's the hockey podcast drama around Heated Rivalry.
Thanks for walking us through it.
You're welcome. One of the things that you expressed an interest in was hearing all about Stranger Things.
Yes, specifically to anyone who may have just started our show on this episode and has no prior context.
Oh, yikes.
There was just first of all, yikes. Second of all, I just feel like I knew so much about Stranger Things season 4 because of your hyperfixation. I love, it's similar to The Magicians. When someone brings it up, I have like a fondness for it because I'm like, I like, having never seen it, I've never seen the source material for these things, but I know it through fandom, and like it's like really sweet. So like I was vaguely invested in how this ended, and I was so curious. And once I started to hear people's reactions, I was like, I don't care. There's one person's reaction that matters to me because she has shaped my perception of that fandom.
I need to know Erin's version of Stranger Things.
Yes.
I also thought for a second there you were going to be be like, whenever I hear about the Magicians or Stranger Things, I have war flashbacks, which is true and would be fair.
We're past that.
I love that I am the core. I am your gateway into these things. Okay.
You are.
All right. So here's the thing. It was bad.
Yeah, I'm gathering that.
I need you to understand. It was so painful. Now, all right, for friends who did not participate in this in real time, and it does actually intersect with Heated Rivalry, so we'll come back around to that. Netflix was like, all right, we're going to take 3 years to make Stranger Things season 5, and it did. They literally waited like 3 years for this thing.
Ridiculous.
So like building and building and building. Season 4 ended on a cliffhanger. Like Vecna had kind of won. Like they had a little bit blown him up, but like he had ripped open the portal between the worlds. So like there was all this stuff happening, and they were standing on the cliff looking whatever, and like so everybody was like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? And Netflix was like, all right, we're going to release the 8 episodes across 3 dates, which is bullshit, by the way. It was like 4 episodes dropped on Thanksgiving, 3 episodes dropped on Christmas, and 1 episode dropped on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, whatever. And I was like, that's so you can get 3 months worth of subscription money from everybody, but whatever. And so the first 4 episodes, I watched actually the first 7 episodes with my mom at home because both for Thanksgiving and for Christmas I was home. And so we watched it together. And I just remember getting through like a couple episodes and looking over at her, and she was just like, and I was like, it's not good.
Yikes.
I think the main issue, like
yes,
the primary failure of this season was pacing. Like it was very, very, very badly paced. And instead of jumping in where we left off in the first episode, you're on a cliffhanger, everything's crazy.
Right.
The first thing is a title card that says 18 months later.
Oh my god, no.
And I was like, what do you mean 18 months later? We were in the end times. You can't,
right.
You just put a little pickle on it. Like what? Like,
oh my god.
No. So they were like, all right, we've been doing like these searches of the Upside Down, and the military has taken over Hawkins. So there's like this gate, and we can't leave. And Robin is like a DJ on the radio, and like gives codes out to people to like go look for stuff. And I was like, this is too convoluted. Like,
yeah,
this is bananas. And so it was like 4 episodes of just like like a drag. And then Vecna was like, they weren't sure if Vecna was still alive originally because they had like shot him or whatever in the previous one. So they were like trying to like look for Vecna. That was what they were mainly doing. But the military had like moved in, and the military was looking for Elle, and it was like a whole thing. And I was like, this is dumb. That's stupid. This is a dumb decision. Yeah. So the main, like the first 4 episodes, like sort of the thrust of it is that like Holly Wheeler, who is Nancy and Mike Wheeler's younger sister, gets abducted by Vecna. And it turns out that he's trying to steal like 12 children. You could
ask, fulfill the prophecy.
Yeah, you could ask me why, and I would not be able to tell you. One of the best moments of watching this with my mother is we got to the end of episode like 4. Like we were in it. We were 5 or 6 episodes, like 5 or 6 hours into watching this season, and she just looks at me and she goes, "What does Vecna want again?" And I was like, "That is the problem."
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Not good.
That's not good.
Nope.
It's like, this doesn't make no sense. Like, why is he stealing children? Like, is he just like a creep? Like, what is this? So they like steal Holly, and then he's like starting to steal other kids and like put him in like the Upside Down and do the weird thing with the like what he did to Will with the like vines over his mouth and like, you know what I mean? And it's very weird. It's like kind of pedophilic and like kind of like it has like overtones of like molestation. Like it's very weird. And I was like, this, like, if you want to tell that story, you can. Like, if you want this to be an allegory for that, maybe. But like, you're not doing it well. Like, this is not. It's just weird and creepy and like not going to pay off. And then so they build up, and eventually they're like trying to get the kids out because the kids all get sent. The military realizes that the kids are like being targeted or whatever somehow. I forget. And all the kids end up on like a military base, basically. Classic. And the military base is like all of the our people, so Mike and like Dustin and Will, and they are all like, all right, we're gonna jailbreak these kids because they are being targeted by Vecna. Like, we are actually able to keep them safe, and the military doesn't know what they're doing. Accurate, true.
Yep.
That's true now too. But it's like true in real life.
Yep.
But so they go to like jailbreak these kids, and the end of like episode 4, they like, it all goes to hell in a handbasket. Of course it does, because they get like found out, and then Vecna like rucks up with like a weird slutty little waist.
Oh.
He like shows up and he's like very, very svelte.
Snatched.
Very snatched. And literally everyone was like, what happened to your torso? Like, Jamie Cable Bower is beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. He's a very, very slim man. But they like, old Vecna had like a belly. He had like a little, like, he just had like a torso, like a normal torso. And then this one is like very like hourglass. It's like, what the hell? So he like shows up, and then the Demogorgons like steal the kids or whatever. And Will discovers through like, he basically goes through this like weird montage of like his friendship with Mike, and that like gives him the power to like take over the Demogorgons and like tap into the hive mind and like break them all. Oh, I don't know, man. Interesting. It was a cool moment. It probably should have happened in episode 2. Like, pacing wise, it didn't make any sense. Like, I was like, oh, you needed a better editor. Like, you needed a script editor to be like, no, this is stupid. Like, you can get this done. And so that's like where it leaves you on until Christmas. I was like, okay. So everybody was like, oh my God, like, Will has powers. This is so cool. And like, the reason that he has powers is because he like remembered his love of Mike. And like, obviously they're going to deal with that at some point.
Yes.
And I was like, y'all, don't get your hopes up.
I think I've seen this film before.
And I didn't like the ending. Yeah, so I was like, okay, fine. Like, maybe they'll address it. Like, obviously, I think it's really important, friends, to be like, they were never gonna make them canon. I love when fandom is passionate about a ship.
Yep.
I need you to know that was never gonna be real.
Yeah.
Like, writing on the wall, that was never gonna go there. Did I think maybe they would address it in canon? Yes. Because I was like, well, obviously Will has a crush on Mike. That is canon. That's very clear. Like, clearly what's going on here. Mike is not reciprocating. And so, like, it is crazy to think that they would ever end up together. But they have to resolve that somehow. Fine. So we get to like the next 3 episodes. They wanted to go find Holly, obviously, and the other kids, obviously,
important
because we care about the children. And so they're like, okay, we're gonna go. But Vecna's like holding them in this like mind place, like his mind. And so they're in like the Creel house, or they're like, all the kids are together, and like Holly like has like Max is also in there.
Oh, gotcha.
So Max isn't dead. Like, it's a whole, like, so Max and Holly have to like figure out how to get out. Like, it's a whole thing. And so you think that Holly gets out, and then she gets like yanked right back, and like whatever.
Classic.
Yeah. So they basically decide that they're gonna like. Oh, and then do you remember Callie from season 2? Oh yeah, because you haven't seen it.
No.
So there was another kid who, like Elle, who had been an experiment kid.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, and everybody hated her. The fandom hated her. Yeah, so she came back in the end. I was like, great. And
fun.
Yep, so fun. And they're like, we must go kill Vecna, whatever. And so they concoct some like harebrained scheme, because they realize, they go into the Upside Down and they realize that there's like antimatter in the Upside Down, and they're like, and I still don't fully understand how this happened, but Dustin basically finds a bunch of notes and realizes that what Vecna is trying to do is like that the Upside Down is actually a bridge between Earth and another dimension, and he's trying to like basically make them crash so that way he can take over Earth.
Okay. It's the deepest sigh.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And so literally he needs the kids to like psychically channel. I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, as much as I'm saying it, it's bad.
Yeah.
Like, even if I was like pitching this, people would be like, you're stupid. And I'd be like, you're right. So anyway, he has like the children, and for some reason they have to like psychically link up and then move this, like, he's like moving the dimension closer and closer to Earth. And like, that's what's happening. So they are like, we'll use the radio tower to like punch into the other dimension when it gets close enough, and then we'll go kill Vecna.
Makes sense to me.
Look, listeners at home, you can't see the face Alan's making, but it was pretty on brand. It was correct. It was very much like, what the fuck? And that's the face I made, friends.
Yeah.
And so they like go up and like, I don't know, they try to get like the kid. All you need to know is that they end up killing Vecna and like they get up there and there's no demogorgons, there's no bats, there's nothing in this other dimension, which makes no fucking sense. Literally every person was like, this is crazy. Like,
right.
You like this as a final battle, this sucks. Because it turns out the Vecna is like the mind flayer. And so this dimension is the home of the mind flayer, and the mind flayer has been controlling Vecna the whole time, which fine, whatever. Or like Henry had basically decided to give into it. Like, so he was acting of his own accord, but he was being influenced. It's a whole thing. And so they end up having like a fight, like a boss fight with the mind flayer, and like whatever. They eventually Elle and Vecna fight, and Elle like impales him on a stake, and then Joyce rocks up with an axe and chops his head off. And that's how it goes.
Climactic, fitting end.
And so you think that's the end. And then...
Oh.
Yeah. And then there's another 45 minutes of epilogue.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, so they do all that or whatever. And then when they get out of the dimension, they somehow get back to... I don't know. They like kill Vecna, whatever. And then they like end it. And then... They also had decided Mike had like built a bomb and they were going to blow up the Upside Down because they realized that they can destroy the bridge if they blow up the Upside Down.
Oh, sure.
And solve, like, it'll end it. And one of the whole themes for the whole show is that Callie, who is the other experiment kid, is like, they are never going to let you live in peace. Like, they're never going to like stop hunting you. And Elle is like, I want to have a life. And Hopper is like, you can have a life, like we will keep you safe or whatever. And Callie's like, they will never, like, they did not stop hunting me, they will not stop hunting you. So it's this push and pull between those two for her.
Right.
And at the like they get out of the dimension, they like set the bomb to like blow up, and then as they're getting captured by the military, like they are out of the Upside Down, they look back and Elle is in the gate and she is in the Upside Down when the whole thing blows up. So she dies. So she dies.
Oh.
Which sucks. Yeah. And
wow.
For some reason, this is all set to Purple Rain. So...
Okay. Of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah. So now is the 45 minutes of epilogue where Elle is dead. And truly, I cannot tell you, when TJ Clute and I were talking about this, he was like, did you have this experience? And I was like, yes, I did. I kept pausing it to be like, surely this must be the end. Surely this is over now. And it kept being like 52 minutes. And I was like,
oh,
of what? Of what?
Yikes.
And it was just like them. So like there's a whole thing where like they graduate high school for some reason, and there's like a big Dustin gives like Eddie's graduation speech and tells them all to like screw off and it's conformity and like whatever. And I was like, first of all, Dustin would not do
never,
that. Second of all, why is everyone cool with this? Like, this would get him like physically removed from the stage. This is not like a big 80s moment. Like, this is crazy. And then they're like, we're gonna play one last game of D&D, and like Mike is DMing the game and creates this story that like Elle actually survived, and like she's like this, it's like she's off and like living the life that she had said that they wanted to have or whatever. And it's sort of implied that it's like he's either coping or it could be true, but it seems more like copium. And most of the actors have been like, no, I believe she's dead and he's just coping, which is fine.
Yeah.
And then like there's just, it's like so long and painful, this epilogue. Like, it's so bad. And like everyone, they go off to college, and like Steve and Robin and Jonathan and Nancy go off to college, and like it kind of, they meet back up for the graduation, like have a beer on the roof and talk about their lives or whatever. And it's so bad.
Oh, yikes.
It's like painful to watch. I was like, oh my God, please, when will this be over? Like, at some point, I just wanted them all to be dead. I was like, forget it. It's actually better. It's almost better if you all just die. And not a single main character died.
And I was gonna say my one of my favorite part of like the adverse reaction I've seen online is those meme videos where people are like the cast leading up to the season 5 premiere, and like it's gonna be bloody, and
Yeah.
I don't want to say names, but like people are gonna die.
Yeah.
It's like,
Are they?
are they though? Are they really?
One, Vecna,
One.
Henry, Callie, Elle. That was
Yep.
kind of it. And I was like, this is so stupid.
It should have been one of the main for sure.
Oh, for sure. Well, there was this scene when they were in the Upside Down and like they were discovering the antimatter thing, and like it was before they figured out what the dimension thing was all about, where Nancy and Jonathan are trapped in this room. It's so stupid because they are approaching the antimatter. The room starts to like melt around them. It looks gummy.
Oh no.
Sorry. It's like white and like viscous and gross.
Ew.
And everybody was like, why are they in the cum room? Like, that's weird.
Not the cum room.
Cum room. That's crazy. And they're like, all these other soldiers are like encased in this like amber, like whatever. Like they're all dead. And so I was like, okay, like Nancy and Jonathan are not getting out. Like,
Right.
these are the ones who go. And like they break up in that moment. And it's actually like, I thought it was really well done. A lot of people didn't realize it was a breakup, by the way. And I was like, your media literacy is bad, actually.
Oh.
And I was like, or you're just children. Either one. But they have this whole conversation where they were like, actually, we're terrible for each other. Because Jonathan had had a ring the whole time. So you're like, oh God, he's going to propose to her.
Propose here, yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I have this ring or whatever. And like it's absolutely not a good idea. And he and Nancy like really just like have it out. And it was actually like that was pretty well done. And
interesting,
like,
yeah.
You're right. Like neither of them are what the other person wants really anymore. They're like trauma bonded and that's about it.
Yeah.
So they kind of break up and they basically are like, this is an unproposal. Like I'm actually proposing that we don't do this anymore.
LOL.
And I was like, okay, so either they're both dying in the cum room, or
oh my God.
or Jonathan is gonna like Jonathan's gonna die saving Nancy or something like that. And then out of nowhere, it just like stops melting and they just like walk out.
Oh.
And I was like, ma'am, I'm sorry, you were not supposed to live. Y'all are living on
peace.
Y'all are living on stolen time. Like this is bullshit. Like at least one of you should be dead.
Yeah, what at the very least.
Yeah. And it was just like so bad. And then there was like also a moment where they were trying to like punch through the radio tower into the upper dimension where like Steve fell off the side. And I was like, he's not going to die. Clearly they're not killing anybody. And they didn't. And Jonathan saved him. And I was like, Steve should have died. Like, I love Steve. I don't want him to be dead. But I was like, the stakes are non-existent in this fucking show because nothing is permanent. The other main criticism I have throughout the whole series is that, or like the whole season, is that the script was so bad because it was like they were doing the thing where they were like explaining every little thing so that way you don't even really have to watch the show. Like you can just like, it's like, yeah, and then a time dimension, which is this thing, and like they would always just be like, yeah, Steve, if you paid attention in physics, this is what this thing is. And it's like stop.
That's infuriating.
It was so bad. And it was like trying to be quippy and like it was really knockoff Joss Whedon. That like Joss Whedon's bad enough. Like
yeah,
but it was that like trying to be like quippy and like whatever, but just like wasn't smart enough to pull it off. And then the other main thing that people got really upset about, and this is where I think we can have like a more interesting conversation, is that they just like never dealt with the Byler of it all. Didn't do shit about it.
Nothing.
They had one scene while they're climbing the radio tower, like in the Upside Down, where Mike and Will are like the only two on like a level. And Will did come out to everybody.
Oh,
I skipped this. Well. This is very critical information, actually.
Oh, good.
Sorry, I fucked up. I should have led with this. Before they go into the Upside Down to enact this plan, Will is having a conversation with Joyce and is like, hey, Mom, so Vecna takes control of people through shame, and I need to like release a thing in order for him to not take control of me again.
Yeah.
And she's like, great, tell me. And then Mike walks in. And he's like, hey, we good? And he's like, Will's like, actually, I have something. You should know this too. And he goes, actually, everyone should know this. And then basically has a town
Ring the
hall.
bell.
Yeah,
everyone,
they
announcements.
Absolutely everybody. Absolutely everybody in the cast is sitting on these couches in this radio station. He's like, I'm gay. I like boys, I think is what he actually says. And I was like, me and TJ Clune were like, why is it a town hall? Like, this doesn't make no sense. It should have just been to Joyce. Like,
yeah.
Maybe Joyce and Jonathan. Like, honestly, I was like, this is a conversation for his family. It also doesn't make any sense to me that a kid in the 80s would be like, surely Murray should know that I'm gay.
Yeah.
That doesn't make no sense.
That's losing track of your historical like sense of anything.
Yeah, and like it was very clearly like what my mom said. My mom, straight woman, was like, I don't think they have any gay friends. I don't think a single gay person participated in the writing of this episode. And I was like, you're so right, Mom.
Accurate.
You're so correct. She's like, yeah, I don't think they talked to anybody when they wrote this. This was written by straight people. And I was like, if my mother can clock that, bad news. Bad news for you, friends. Yeah. And so, Will is out or whatever. So they go into the Upside Down. He has this moment with Mike where it's just the two of them. And Mike says something along those lines like, well, why didn't you say anything or whatever? And Will is like, I'm really like, I'm sorry, like whatever, like I just didn't, I forget what he said. And he was like, but it basically just ended with him being like, are we still friends? Wish I was kidding.
No.
Mike went, no. Best friends. Alan has left the chat. Alan is almost horizontal. Alan's upset. Hands on face. Upset.
That.
The blankie is being readjusted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Add it.
Sure.
I think that is horrifying. That's truly insulting.
It was honestly like the most offensive part of the episode.
Yeah.
Where I was like, are you fucking serious? Like,
fuck that.
I was like, look, again, they were never going to be a couple. I was under no delusions ever. I was like, they also shouldn't be. Narratively, doesn't make no sense. You can tell that story. That's fine.
Sure.
To never address it at all, and for that to be the way that relationship basically ends,
is resolved. Yeah. Oh, bad.
You've got to be kidding me. That it was like a throwaway line.
That is so wild, and like a multi-million, like how many eyes were on this and no one thought to say, actually this is so dumb.
We should get a sensitivity reader up in here. Yeah, like
seriously.
Can we talk to literally any queer person at all?
Anyone, please.
Any singular queer person. Yeah, so that was the finale.
Woo!
It's really bad. And then fandom collectively started to lose its mind because we were like, surely this can't be right. So pretty much immediately after the finale, people on TikTok started to be like, there must be another episode. Which is, for those of us who've been around for a while, that's copium, friends.
Oh yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it is.
But like, there was some compelling arguments, right?
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, there are some moments in the show that are like seemingly intentionally anachronistic. And like one of the big ones was that in the first episode, the radio tower has this like power dial that is one color. And then later in the like last episode, it completely changes. Like it's an entirely different prop. And people were like, well, part of the thing that they've established in universe is that when you are trapped in Vecta's mind, your memories are slightly changed.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So like colors will change of things or like, that's how you get through it. So they were like, well, interesting that like that is slightly different. The theory was that the audience was trapped in Vecta's mind and actually the end never happened.
Sick.
Would be sick as hell. And
Yeah.
like at that point, because they had also established there was like a serious, like a point where Vecna kind of like stole Will and was like, "You're
Mm.
gonna be my spy one more time." So the theory
Ugh.
was that actually we were seeing like that
Oh.
Vecna had like basically taken control of the visuals and like was
Yeah.
whatever had taken control of the entire thing, and would have been sick.
Yep.
But like there were all these little like things that just kind of added up.
Gotcha.
And then it was like, you know, they it was called conformity gate. And it was like, well, Mike hears there's this like device that the military has to subdue L, and it's like a particular sound. And Mike hears that sound in the speakers in the graduation scene.
Oh.
So it was like, okay, or a sound that's similar at least.
Got
so
it,
it's
yeah.
like, okay. And then at one point, Will had said in his coming out speech, like, you know, I'm still the same guy. Like, we still like going to Melvault's for milkshakes and going and like playing in the woods, which doesn't make any sense. One, because
Yeah.
Melvault's isn't a milkshake place. It's a general store that Joyce worked
Oh.
at. But it was a diner when Henry was a kid,
Oh.
because it was previously a diner. And so, and then it was like,
Right.
why would Will want to go play in the woods? He got abducted in the
Yeah.
woods. Like, what are you talking about? And that doesn't make no sense.
The
And-
top of the list of places to avoid for Will.
Right. So I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And
Yeah.
then, so there's just all these little things like sprinkled throughout the narrative that like didn't, why were there no Demogorgons or bats in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Mind Flayer
I
dimension?
remember seeing this.
Yeah. Like, why, like, what? And so there were all these little things that added up. And then people were like, well, Will was gone for 7 days. So on January 9th or whatever, the new episode will drop. And then unfortunately, like this, I think the Stranger Things like marketing team kind of got a hold of it and were like kind of feeding into it. And there were like there was like a weird video with like Jamie Campbell Bower on Jimmy Fallon where he was doing like an exercise routine, like an 80s aerobics thing. And it was it was January 8th. And he was like, tomorrow it begins or whatever. So everybody was like, obviously,
Confirmation.
Vecna is saying tomorrow it begins. And then January 9th came and went, and it was not another episode. And everyone was like, that's it?
Yep.
So, you know,
Ooh.
yeah. So we all just decided, we just collectively hallucinated for a while. And unfortunately, it wasn't real. But it was real in my heart, because it would have been better.
As a diehard Taylor Swift fan who goes through this amount of clowning on a regular basis, I was like, my heart bleeds with you all, and I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. All the Swifties were saying that, and then all the like Super Hulock people were like,
Oh,
the
yep.
Sherlock episode was like a big thing, and we were like, yeah, that's a fandom thing. But and like there's been so many like videos that were so funny that were like, man, imagine writing a show so bad that your fandom collectively hallucinates like that it surely must be a trick.
Right, that cannot be the ending.
Yeah, that it can't possibly be how this goes, and is able to like back it up with evidence.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of it, like I kind of got me a little bit. I was
Sure.
like, I don't know, but like that I wanted to believe, similar to the hockey boys. I wanted
Exactly.
to have faith in the world, and it was
Yes.
promptly shattered.
I'm so sorry.
Not allowed to have faith in the world.
That is so wild. Like, at what point do you, as one of the Duffer brothers, say, "Oh, actually, I think we gotta do something here because that's a good idea. Let's take that and run."
There were so many TikToks. They were like, "How fast can we get another episode up? How fast can we edit together another episode?" Yeah, it was just so bad. But then I haven't actually watched it, but they did release a behind the scenes documentary of the making of the last season, and it appears that they had ChatGPT open while they were working on their scripts, which explains a lot if that is what happened.
It does, yeah.
Obviously, they did not show them actively using ChatGPT to write their script, but
Well, one of the things I'd heard was that, like, one of them went through a divorce recently, right?
Yes.
And
Yes,
that
yes,
his
yes.
wife was, like, a very notable writer. And so the theory, I think, at least, is that folks think that played some factor in, like, maybe she was helping on some of the other seasons, and that split up affected the final one.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that one. Now
Yeah.
that we are at like post conformity gate, like that didn't happen. I was like, oh yeah, no, this was a divorce. Like she was for sure in the writing room, or at least at home, bouncing ideas off of stuff. Because the
Right.
I don't know her name offhand, but she's a writer and producer on Fear Street, which is apparently like an excellent
An
show.
incredible trilogy of movies. Her
Okay, yeah,
name
yeah. Thank
is Lee Janiak.
Yes, and also queer. So they were like, all the Byler stuff probably was her, and
Yeah,
like obviously there's more than one writer. Like it wasn't just the Dever brothers, the whole
sure.
series, but like probably they were pulling from other people, and like the divorce was a big factor of why it was so bad.
Yeah.
And also the documentary, there are moments where the production team is like, so should we put Demogorgons in the dimension maybe? And they're like, no. And they're like, isn't it kind of weird that we've like established that these are things, and like, do you think the audience will ask questions about it? And they're like, no.
Uh,
Why would you post this? Like, this is humiliating.
I
Why
was
would
gonna
you
say,
post
like,
it?
I thought I saw a video like not long after Conformity Gate where it was like one of them talking about like how they were done with this project, or like they
Yeah.
were focusing on something else, and it's like very clear they were checked out by the end.
Oh yeah, it was a big Game of Thrones. Like, we're moving on to other stuff.
Which is so fucking infuriating.
So
Time after
infuriating.
time, you all have gold, and then you fucking sit on it for unending amount of times, and then it's so
Yeah.
frustrating.
It's so frustrating. And to cycle it back around to Heated Rivalry, I love that as Stranger Things was shitting the bed, in
Yeah.
comes this little Canadian show about gay hockey players
Ugh.
and just stole all the thunder. It was excellent. It's very much like that sound on TikTok where it's like, and then it goes, dong, 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 dong. Like, it's just the gay hockey players come in and they're like, we fucking win.
Yes.
And I was just like, yeah, of course. So like, it was just it's been a very interesting time in fandom to like watch all of these things converge, where it feels like we've sped run a lot of like
Yeah.
big fandom dramas all at once, like in the same maybe like 3 or 4 weeks. Because like, if you think about it, January 9th was not that long ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been wild.
What a time. Yeah.
What a time to be in fandom.
Well, thanks
Yeah.
for sharing your thoughts on it.
You're welcome.
I'm so disappointed. I won't lie. Like I remember I asked a friend last year where I was like, I'm kind of thinking about getting into Stranger Things, because we were talking about it a lot on the podcast for season 4. Season 4 was like everywhere. It was like it culturally hit at the right moment. Like
Yeah.
the running up the hill situation. Like
Eddie.
it was big. Yeah, exactly. Eddie. Like it was a cultural moment, and I was a little sad to be missing out on it. But there was so much to catch up on, and I was like, I just don't think I can do it. And my friend was like, don't do it. It's like not worth the actual journey. And I was like, okay. And I'm glad I didn't,
Yeah,
because
I
I'd be
think
extra pissed.
yeah, if you're gonna do it, watch the first season, because
Yeah.
the first season, and my understanding, if I'm remembering correctly, is that it was originally intended to be one season and that was it.
Correct, is the way it should have been done.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be a one and done, and then they were gonna do like another season in another place with other characters.
With other characters, that's the way to have done it. Yeah.
Yeah, but because they like people just like latched on to these kids,
Struck
Yeah.
gold.
it became okay, we're going to keep with this story, and they just didn't have a good ending in mind. Like, they admitted in the documentary that they didn't know how it was going to end until they like shot it.
Oh, yes, that's what I saw. Yes, and I was like, that's not something you admit.
No, I was like,
You keep that one to yourself.
you couldn't have waterboarded that information out of me. Like, if I would have been like, yeah, this is how it was always supposed to be.
Yeah, like we just had a clear vision, and like
Yeah,
you
we
know,
always
it's,
knew. Yeah, full of shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was wild. So if you were to get into it, I would say watch the first season, because the first season is excellent. Like, there's
Yeah,
a reason
I've
it
heard
blew
really good
up.
things.
It's so good. The problem is basically the first season and the last season are the same.
Oh, interesting.
Like, if you take beat for beat what happens, there's no growth, there's no change between the first and the last season. It ends with Elle disappearing into the Upside Down. That's it. So a lot of people, rightfully, myself included, are like, well, then what was the point?
Yeah,
You should have just left it at 1 then. If
for sure.
the ending was always going to be Elle dies, leave her dead the first time.
Yeah.
You know? And have it be this like really exceptional one and done thing. But they can't, because there's no money in that. So
Yeah, that's infuriating.
and when I say the first and the last season are the same, I don't mean in terms of quality. I mean in terms of
Sure.
like
story beats
yeah,
and
major
narrative arc.
yeah, major story beats, and in terms of like character growth, like there's barely any difference between where they start and where they end, which is
That is really disappointing.
yeah. And I think the reason why Steve was so beloved is because he's the one that changes the most.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And it's bad.
Well, you win some, you lose some, I guess.
Yep. The only upside, one good thing, is that Robin went to Smith.
Good for Robin. It's what she deserves.
Good for Robin. Do you know what Smith College is?
Nope.
Nope. I was like, you're such a ride or die that you were like, love that. No clue.
To be fair, though, I was like, I have a general. I feel like contextually, I was like, I think I can get it. But
what is it? What's your
is it
guess?
like a very progressive, like women's college of some sort?
Yeah.
I was like, given the person who's telling it to me and the tone in which she's telling it to me, I think I can kind of take a little bit of a leap.
Smith is one of the Seven Sisters schools, and it is down the street from Mount Holyoke where I went. So I have been to Smith. I took classes at Smith, although I was actually enrolled at Mount Holyoke because Smith is part of the 5-college consortium. This is now an education in New England college history. But there's 5 colleges out in Western Massachusetts. Smith and Mount Holyoke are 2 of them. And you can take classes at any of the 5 colleges if you are enrolled in one of them.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
It's part of the 5 consortium and the 7 sisters and the 3 wicked witches.
The 3 witches from the Scottish play. No. So her being like, I'm going to Smith. I was like, that's excellent. But also like they had Steve at the end be just like a high school like gym teacher, which was in Hawkins. And I was like, he would go to UMass. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, no. If Robin went to Smith, Steve went to UMass. And so they could both take classes with hot girls.
There you go.
I'll die on that hill.
That's yours.
Yeah. And I was like, he would have gone to Amherst, but he didn't have the grades. So, because Amherst is the bougier college.
Heard.
It's Amherst, UMass Amherst, Hampshire, which is like the stoner college, Mount Holyoke, and Smith.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was like, this is bullshit. You didn't even get that right.
Annoying.
So annoying. But yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah, I bet.
I feel like fandom we've really been through the ringer the last like month and a half.
Yeah. But Heated Rivalry is like good and exciting and something to throw. I was gonna say throw your hat in the ring for, but that's not really. It's like get behind. There we go. That's the expression I'm looking for.
I really thought you were gonna be like throw your ass in for like whatever.
Yeah, just throw it back on Heated Rivalry.
Heated Rivalry. Hudson Williams, do you want to be on this podcast? Connor Story, I'm gonna leave you alone. you seem too sweet. If you
want to come on, if you want,
we can
talk about your.
Yeah, we can talk about clowning and stuff, which honestly I can actually probably talk about a little bit.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
I'm not exceptional at it, but I did train with a theater company in Western Mass called Double Edge Theater, which is rooted in Russian circus.
There you go.
For a week. I was so bad at it. I quit immediately.
Oh, no.
I didn't understand what it was when I signed up, but it was very fun.
Nice. There you go.
It was fun for like 2 days. And then I was like, I'm done. I actually want to go home. I would like to leave.
So we'll compare experiences.
Yeah. And he'll be like, no, I love Double Edge. Double Edge Theater is rooted in this. And I don't know. I don't know this kid at all. I'm hallucinating a conversation that did not happen.
It's dangerous how it happens.
So dangerous. Parasocial. But yeah, I feel like specifically one of the things that's sort of interesting is the difference in experience with handling queer storylines between those 2 shows. Mm-hmm. And it all absolutely boils down to who the creators are.
Yes.
It absolutely does. Because Jacob Tierney, who is the creator of Heated Rivalry, the show, in conjunction with Rachel Reed, who wrote the novels, Jacob Tierney's a gay man. And he's out. He was like, no. Very protective of the queerness of the story. Francois Arnaud, who plays Scott, is an out gay actor.
Nice.
I think he's the only... Oh, I'm sorry. He might be bisexual now that I think about it. So I should clarify that I believe he is bi. But he's out is what I really mean to say. And many of the other actors have sort of alluded to things or whatever. But it's I think the ownership of the queer story in Heated Rivalry with queer creators is why it's so well done. Yes. And this is where I come into the queer people should make queer art. And that's not to say that you should force people to come out. It's that line that we've talked about before.
Right.
But there is something about you either have to be queer or you have to have a deep respect for queer culture, I think.
Right.
And like a deep understanding of it in order to do it. Or you have to be able to relate to it in some way that makes it human and real and important to you. I think Denzel Washington at one point was talking about filmmaking with like Steven Spielberg. I think they were talking about like, you know, you Steven Spielberg had to make Schindler's List because you are Jewish. And he was like, Denzel Washington was like, I have to make this other movie because I'm black. And you don't know what it means. Like, you don't have the experience of having your mother hot comb your hair over a stove.
Yeah.
And that is just foundational to like understanding this world. And I do think there is some of that there. Like,
for sure.
You gotta understand, you gotta have some experience with it. Otherwise, like, it's not as authentic. And I think it does come from the top. I think that's why I'm always like, the actors don't owe us shit.
No, yeah.
But the creators kind of do.
Absolutely. Especially when the narrative is having to do with that queerness. Like, it isn't just like characters that happen to be queer going through other shit. It's like, it's a focus on how those characters are experiencing queerness.
Yeah. And again, that I want to be so clear that is not, you have to be out, but it is, I think you need to have some relationship to it. Like, yeah. And like, it does come through in the work, clearly. Like, you can usually tell. Because, like, the Duffer Brothers obviously could not have given less of a shit about Will's queerness at all. Like, it was very clearly, like, a thing that they were forced to deal with. Yeah. Because that's the story they wrote. And then they were like, oh, we don't actually want this to be the story. We're just going to have to, like, wrap it up in 2 seconds and then move on. So, like, I think that's where it sort of is just like, this is why straight people aren't allowed to have queer things. Yeah. Strange queer things. Stranger queer things.
Queerer things.
Queerer things. Thank you. That was the joke. That was where we were headed. Are there any other things about fandom you want to explain to you in the next 15 minutes? Have you been experiencing anything? Do you want to talk about anything? This is just a yap session.
No, that's great. Yeah, I know my life has been like, again, at Heated Rivalry. I guess it's only been a week. Less than a week. Yeah. Wow. Life-changing. I know.
I do want to hear what your thoughts are when you rewatch it, because I feel like it is a show that bears rewatching really well.
Yeah, I'm excited to. Yeah, because I can feel it. It's going to be like a comfort watch in the same way that Heartstopper was. But
yeah, I've rewatched the Cottage episode a whole bunch of times.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's so
the only other thing, like, maybe not, this isn't a criticism, but it is, of that show is I wanted more when Shane got hurt. I wanted Ilya to be a little more upset about it. Like, I think he was an appropriate amount of upset, but the way I like it is like I wanted a little more ketchup on that fry. If that makes sense.
I want a little bit more sauce.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, come on, let me see some tears. Let me see some screaming, like, trying to, like, push, like, let me see you being held back.
That's really funny.
And, like, I get why thematically they can, because, again, they're secret, and, like, I get it.
And they're rivals, like, or whatever.
But if there was a moment, it would have been that one.
Yeah, it would have been good. I love Shane drugged out of his mind in the hospital.
Yeah, that's so good.
Hey. And then he's like, coming, basically, like, ask, like, has him hold his hand. He goes, yes, better.
He's so cute. Yeah, I love that part.
I do think that was the moment I fell in love with Hudson Williams. I was like, oh, you're a cutie patootie. That's actually really funny. Another thing that I was like, so annoyed with the Empty Netters bros for just, like, glossing over this. But like, on rewatch, I clocked so many more microaggressions towards Shane about his race. And it's obviously a factor. Like, it is not like, some of them are, like, very obvious, and some of them aren't. And it actually took until the second watch until I clocked, like, all of them. Yikes. And I was like, oh, like, nobody ever, like, we are not talking enough about why so much of what Shane is going through is also trying to be, like, a perfect representative of a non-white player and not wanting to, like, step out of line of that. And that's so much why he, like, he doesn't want to be different. Like, it's such a weight that his mother like even puts on him early on, where she's like, you know that like you are going to represent kids all over, like when she like with that first Rolex deal, and he's like, I know. And it's so like the pressure of that is like immense, and I'm like, oh
can't even
yeah,
imagine.
okay, like I get why Shane is so, I obviously haven't lived that experience, but I was like,
Sure.
this is such a big piece of the puzzle of why he is the way that he is, and why it even takes him so long to admit to himself that he's gay. So I was like, the scene where they're in Florida and it's the All-Star game, and Shane is kind of like freaking out. He had freaked out and left the previous time. Like they like fucked around on the couch, and Ilya uses his first name for the first time. And Shane's like, can't handle that.
Yep.
Gotta go.
Too much too soon. Goodbye.
The tuna melt was nice. Thank you. Goodbye. And like takes off. The next time they see each other, it's like Tampa, and Shane is like, I'm sorry I freaked out. I think I'm gay. And Ilya, the man who's been topping him for 8 years, is like, you don't fucking say. But like that moment for Shane is so important.
Yeah.
Because he has spent this whole time being like, well, Ilya has an out. If Ilya wants out of this, he can always go back to women. He can always go back to Svetlana. Like, he can get out of here. And he, like, Shane knows in his heart that he's gay, but he like won't admit it, because he's like, if I can't also do that, then like this is it for me. Like I'm so much more at risk here, because there is no valve. There's no like, it's that or misery. Like I can try with Rose Landry, but it's clearly not working.
Right.
And he can't even hide it from her. Like, so for him to have that moment where he's like, oh, I'm gay, that's actually like a heartbreaking moment if you think about it, for longer than 2 seconds. It's funny. The way it's played is funny.
Right.
Because it's true. It's like,
like, yes, obviously.
Sweetie. Yeah. Like the man who's been exclusively topping you.
Might have had an inkling.
Yeah. Like you haven't dated anybody else. Like you dated one girl and it went south quick. Like, yeah, you are, honey. You are. But it's such a like deep like moment in the show that I think gets glossed over, because it's like it's so telling of where Shane is at. And it to me loops back to when he's talking to his mom and he's like, I tried so hard and I just couldn't do it. And she has to be like, oh my God, no, like no. Like I never wanted to make you feel this way. And he's like, I tried so hard not to be what I am, and it just didn't work. And that's
heartbreaking.
Like, so much better than Stranger Things.
Oh my God.
Unbelievably better than Stranger Things. I love that. Also, did you know that the state, like the country of Canada, partially funded Heated Rivalry? So it's taxpayer funded hockey smut.
God, Canada, please take me in.
Oh, this is a fun fact. I can apply for Canadian citizenship by descent.
Lucky.
I'm unbelievably excited about it. The TLDR is that Canada for years had a moratorium on like how far back you could go for descent, where it was like the first person born outside of Canada to Canadian parents could have applied for descent, and then after that it was it. And
Fair
then
enough.
Recently the Canadian Supreme Court was like, that is unconstitutional because you're denying Canadian citizens their due citizenship rights. So now it's like, as long as you can prove that you have an ancestor who was born in Canada, you can apply.
Whoa.
And 3 out of my 4 great-grandparents were born in Canada.
Good for you.
So yeah, I'm Canadian now.
Congratulations, eh?
Thank you. Just in time for Heated Rivalry.
Yeah.
Love it.
It is very much like, listeners, you don't know this, but I was curious about the like Toronto Maple Leaf sweatshirt you've got on and this beanie.
Shut up.
Yeah, and the Canadian flag you had going on in the back.
I'm wearing an Oogie Boogie t-shirt from Disney World. Which is not Canadian. I assume it was made in China. That's so funny. Also, my great grandparents are from PEI.
Gotcha.
Me and every other Bostonian is from Canada. It's actually unbelievable how many New Englanders were like, oh, okay, we can go back. Because
That's incredible.
There was a period of time, like mass migration time, down through the ports in Maine specifically and in Boston. And so a lot of people from Canada just like settled in New England. And that's what we did ages ago.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm getting out of here. No, I'm kidding.
Bye.
I'm not. I joke about that. That is not true. But I am gonna pursue dual citizenship because why wouldn't I?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Caitlin was like, so you get your dual citizenship and then you adopt me.
Smart. Yes, me too, please.
Yeah. I was like, I'll adopt a bunch of children and it'll be great.
Lovely.
The children being you. Yeah, no, it's fascinating. It's been a
what a journey.
Wild ride, let me tell you.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah.
So fun. Anyway, we've gone pretty far afield.
We promised you a yap session, and we have delivered. Here's some yap for you.
We've done what we set out to do.
It's true.
And who knows when our next one's going to be, friends. So.
Yeah, your guess is as good as ours.
Yeah. I have a couple of interviews lined up for Author's Notes, which is super fun.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Excited.
And I'm trying to get away from exclusively... I've done a lot of like YouTubers and writers mostly, so I'm trying to branch out into like other
Mediums.
other types of art. I would love designers. Like,
yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, would love to get into like more, even like stage managers would be cool. Like people front like musicians. Like we have a family friend who's a photographer that I want to ask, but like like I want to get into other. I've sort of like stayed in the same realms for a little while, and I'd like to branch out. So if you have suggestions, send me them. Thank you.
Yes, please do.
Are we done?
I think so. I think we've got it.
We've yapped. We have yapped.
I feel sufficiently yapped.
Yeep, yapped, yapped.
That is cursed. That is almost as bad as the Stranger Things 5 ending finale.
I love that made you so unhappy. I laughed so hard.
Oh my god. It's just wrong. It's so wrong on so many levels.
Oh, I love gently harassing you with things that don't matter. It was so fun.
This was fun.
This was great. I love you very dearly.
I love you very dearly.
I guess we can do the Ko-Fi again if we want, but
I mean, we probably should if they're separate episodes.
Yeah, fair. All right. Well, I guess we should wrap this up. I want to say another big ass thank you to our Ko-Fi supporters. We just did this. There may, between the time of recording this and the time of posting, there may be others. So forgive us if this list is not exhaustive of. Yeah. But this is as of January 25th. So, Dion, Allie, Leo, Rose, Danielle, Sly, Charlotte, and Marina, who's new to us.
Yay!
Thank you again. Truly, truly thank you. And you can always find us at theficklist.com. It looks like a blog now, which is sort of fun.
That is fun.
The main post is, we can't believe we've done this. Because
can't believe you've done this.
We're so old.
We are ancient.
Says, welcome back to theficklist.com. Whatever. But it has like our contact information, the cute little photo from Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, Evelyn.
Convention appearances, and then links to our podcast, and then all of our social media. How many do we have? Oh, yeah, there's a Discord. I forgot about the Discord. I mean, I didn't forget about the Discord. I just forgot to mention the Discord in the previous one. I'm in the Discord
episode,
all the time. I love the Discord. And the Tumblr. The Tumblr.
Yeah, the Tumblr run by the inimitable Caitlin.
Inimitable Caitlin, who will be with me at AwesomeCon because she loves me.
Yeah. Well, someone has to.
Wow. I started that fight.
You want to play? You want to play?
I started it, then you ended it.
I felt very much like a cat in that moment where you just keep poking me, and then I was like, claw.
Yeah, I was definitely like a dachshund who was just like, yum, 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 and you popped me on the head like a cat, and I was just like, oh no.
It was a joke. I'm so sorry.
It's very much the moment in Heated Rivalry when Shane rucks up to Scott Hunter and is like, man, I like wish you could have played today. That's like such a bummer that you were so bad. And Scott looks him dead in the eye and goes, you're starting to sound like him too. And Shane his soul exits his body through his butt. Yep. Yeah. You can see him just like Oh, and like I love that moment because on TikTok everybody was like, wow, Shane, the like little puppy dog, came up and was like, hee, this is so fun. And then Scott said, and then I hit the second tower. He just wasn't fucking around even remotely.
Oh man, I love Scott so much.
It was so excellent. I love Scott Hunter. Like what a character. Kip also also delightful,
adorable. Yeah,
so fun. Love it. Anyway, before we loop back around to this has
Yes.
been great. So fun.
This has been wonderful.
All right.
Yeah.
I love you very much. And I will see you right now because we're probably going to keep chatting for like 5 minutes. But see you next time, friends.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.